Ladies and gentlemen, the Sweetheart Dancers! Yay!
You're coming on a little strong, sticking your face where it don't belong. Now don't you know you're getting too tight for me? Stop! Chill out, stop!
Why do we have a minute-and-a-half long dance routine in the middle of a slasher movie? Why does anything happen in this fucking movie? Today, we review the mind-numbingly frustrating Night Screams from 1987. If you were to look at this movie file, you would think it's a 90-minute movie. But no, my friend, it is not. 10.5 minutes of it are the credits, because there's 7 minutes of deleted footage spliced into the credits, followed by 2 full movie trailers. Not to mention that the first 3 minutes of the film are random scenes from another horror movie called Graduation Day.
What are you doing? Stop it! No. Please, no!
And because there's not nearly enough filler in this movie, 2 characters spend an extended amount of time watching the 1983 porno Sweet Alice, which means we watch Sweet Alice.
Where else did it hurt?
Right up in here.
Maybe the ribs. Why don't you turn over and I'll look at you.
In what I can only assume is a better plot, Sweet Alice got hurt skiing, and the only cure for her broken ribs was a threesome. But on to our movie, we begin with people watching television when they're killed.
You scared me.
Police, I want to report a murder. Honey, no!
I don't know if I'm a crazy person, but this gave away the killer to me right away, because he calls the killer Honey, which means it's a girl, right? Do dads call their sons Honey? I've never fucking heard of it. And the only woman in this movie with any motivation is Dave's girlfriend Joni, who's barely in the fucking movie, so that you don't suspect her, because she's clearly the killer. She's new to school, has a mysterious background, we know she was in a mental institution, and freaks out when someone makes a joke about electric shock. So we know she's the bad guy. If only 60 minutes of this movie, not being flashbacks or us watching television, wasn't enough, there's also extended scenes of people just standing around the locker room talking about how great Dave is. And somehow in a movie where we watch a porno, the women in the locker room are wearing clothes? I've never seen a high school locker room movie where the people had clothes on. Seriously. A slasher flick without nudity? What in the blue hell is going on?
The end of your nose is the same shape as the head of your dick.
Really?
What do I do?
Hey, Mason, come here for a minute. Come here, I want to look at the end of your nose.
Did you guys see David? Oh, he's so gorgeous.
Oh my god, you guys, she's got DB, I love you, written in her locker.
Oh, how nauseating.
She wishes.
I think it's time for the
You
little
guys,
bird
I
to
have
leave.
right here. I hope Chuck doesn't get on my case tonight. Every time we get together, all he can think about is sex.
Oh, you love it.
Yeah, but don't tell anybody, okay?
We interrupt this non-plot of everybody in the movie talking about how they want to fuck Dave to introduce more characters. Criminals have escaped from a local prison and are killing people at a diner.
Where's Lily? I'll let her buy me a cup of your lasting coffee.
I did not bust out of that hole to take your shit.
With the beautiful sweetheart dancers in the background, we return to the love-a-thon of Dave, or possibly Davish as one character calls him, as a woman says right in front of her boyfriend that she's gonna fuck Dave at the party.
Oklahoma is lucky to get Davish.
Not half as lucky as I'm gonna be.
What's that?
I heard it's nothing.
After a lot of talk about how awesome this party's gonna be, they decide, screw it, let's just sit around Dave's house and get drunk.
Hey, where are the lemons?
Lemons? We don't need no stinking lemons.
Everybody splits up to watch different porno flicks and are slowly killed off. Thank God.
Law and order is not my domain. I'll see the tears flow, I'll watch the blood stain. The pages turn, the book catches flame. The fire is raging beside your name. A cry goes out, a shout in the street. Injustice done, another defeat.
In between all these murders, where nobody seems to notice that people have gone missing, all the women individually leave their boyfriends to go walk up to Dave and ask him to fuck them because he's a soon-to-be famous football player that just got a scholarship to Oklahoma University. He turns them down and they go back to their boyfriends and fuck. Meanwhile, his actual girlfriend, Joni, gets like one scene in the movie, seen here with the red hair.
So, you survived your first David Michaels party.
Barely. Between Brenda's dicks and Chris's stares and Russell's big mouth, I've had a real ball.
Oh, don't be too hard on Russell. You just have to learn how to take him. He's really a good guy.
I suppose the same goes for Brenda and Chris.
No, Brenda has no brains. And Chris, she's insensitive, insecure, oversexed. Once you realize that, it's easy to ignore them.
I'll try to remember that. Why did you come tonight?
She came to the party to fuck your boyfriend. And DB is just a sad, Rocky quoting consolation prize.
I love the end of your nose.
I was worried you wouldn't like kissing me very much.
Absolutely.
Overall, there is a lot of filler in this movie, as I've said. 10 plus minutes of credits, flashbacks, just straight out scenes from other movies in this movie. It's not even in the background. They just show the footage. There's 10 minutes of archive footage. We get about 60 minutes of movie in this, and even that is drug out with exposition, talking about Dave non-stop. I don't really get this movie. They talk up this party, and then last second Dave says, nah, I'm just gonna have friends over to drink. So then plot basically never happens. There's this whole sub thing with these criminals who basically just hide in the basement the entire movie and are not really in it. We get 10 minutes of them for no reason. This one is a mess. And if you look at the people behind it, you can tell why. It was directed by Alan Strone, who only directed Earth, Wind, and Fire VHS tapes. he'd just take live footage and compile them into tapes. That's his directing credit. And it was edited by Herbert L. Strock, who hadn't worked since the 60s. The only person you're going to recognize in this movie at all is Ron Thomas. He played Bobby in the first two Karate Kid movies. No one else in this movie has more than 4 or 10 credits. The 4 most credited people in this movie are the people they're watching on TV. We see 3 famous porn stars and Leanna Quigley. They each have 100 movie roles apiece. The rest of this cast doesn't have 100 combined. Thank you for watching, and as always, I shall try to do better next time. Gee, I hope I didn't ruin my computer trying to figure out which porno they were watching. It should be fine.